Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
And the rockets
that bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hello everyone, I'm Michael Jacobson. I'm the President and CEO of the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce. We are proud to broadcast our 15th annual State of the City address from the state-of-the-art esports stadium right here in Arlington's Entertainment District. And by the way, it's the largest dedicated venue of this type in North America. Thank you to the award-winning Lamar High School Madrigals from the Arlington Independent School District for that amazing rendition of our national anthem. The past 12 months have been difficult for everybody in our community. However, with crisis comes courage and compassion, and the action of our citizens have filled my heart with an abundance of pride. The people of Greater Arlington are remarkable. They're resilient and they're kind. With every great challenge, our citizens and our leaders rise above to meet the needs. And how lucky we are to have Mayor Jeff Williams at the helm, guided by our City Council, our City Manager Trey Yelverton, our Fire Chief Don Krausen, who headed up our city's COVID-19 emergency response, our firefighters, our police officers, our city's water department who worked through frigid nights, our city's communication team who's kept us informed of the things we need to know every step of the way. And last but not least, our citizens who cared for each other with their time, their talents, and their treasure. We are so fortunate to live, work, and do business in the American Dream City. Today's State of the City address would not be possible without the financial support of our sponsors. Thank you for your commitment to our city and our chamber.
The State of the City with Arlington Mayor Jeff Williams is made possible because of our sponsors. Thank you to today's host, the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce. Today's presenting sponsor is the Arlington Highlands. Our platinum sponsors are Atmos Energy, Baylor Scott & White Orthopedic and Spine Hospital Arlington, Candlelight Inn, and JP Morgan Chase. Our gold sponsors are Frost Bank, Medical City Arlington, as well as Tarrant County College Southeast and Texas Health Resources. Our silver sponsors are the Sargent family and Wells Fargo. Our bronze sponsors are listed below. Thank you to each of our sponsors today who made this event possible. Remember, together we succeed.
A special thank you to the Arlington Highlands and David Harvey. They've been the presenting sponsor of State of the City for 8 consecutive years, and we truly appreciate their dedication to our city and to our chamber.
Hello, my name is David Harvey, and I'm the president of Fairborn Properties, the manager of Arlington Highlands. Mayor Williams, City Council members, and residents of Arlington, Texas, this is the 8th year that we have been the presenting sponsor for your State of the City address. We are very proud to perform this role. This has been a very challenging year for retail, However, this property has performed very well. Our tenant sales were down 30 to 40% from the period of March through June. Beginning in July, we began to have a rebound, and as of today, we are collecting over 80% of the rent. We did have 6 national retailers whose parents went bankrupt, but after the reorganization, they reaffirmed their leases here and are still open. We've had 36 tenants who have remained continuously operating throughout this pandemic. We particularly want to congratulate some locally owned businesses. Black Eyed Pea, the only remaining Black Eyed Pea in Texas. Small Cakes, India Grill, which recently expanded, and the new franchise owner of GNC. On the other hand, movie theaters, health clubs, personal services and entertainment, they have been very badly hurt during this period of time. Nevertheless, we have lost very few tenants. We do have a new tenant here at Arlington Highlands, Five Below. This is a backfill of the former Staples box. Great job done by our leasing agents, the Retail Connection. The balance of the space, we've created 3 restaurant spaces which will face the Studio Movie Grill. Arlington Highlands appreciates all the support the community has given us during this year. Special thanks to the Arlington PD and to all the first responders. Please continue to shop our open air center, visit our restaurants, and visit our local tenants. Please stay safe and healthy, and thank you everyone for attending this event today.
At this point, I have a long list of elected officials in the room to recognize. This year, with no one in this grand hall, that's obviously not possible. But let me take just a second to thank all of our elected officials. The Chamber appreciates you for the tremendous work each of you have done to balance the needs of our physical and our economic health. It has been a heck of a year, and we appreciate you. As I mentioned, our format's different this year due to the pandemic. It will be virtual, and that's a first for our state of the city. And this year will also be different because it's Mayor Williams' last State of the City. So we'll be looking back at the past year, but we're also going to be looking at the past 6 years of Mayor Williams' tenure. I do have to take a second for a personal note to the mayor. From the first day I started in this role, just over 5 years ago, I've been awed by the leadership demonstrated by my friend Jeff Williams. Leadership requires someone who has a vision for what we can be, understands the steps necessary to achieve that bright future, and can execute that strategy that's been developed, can achieve that strategy with absolute integrity, can course correct as required, can inspire others to common vision, and can lift our pride and empower us to achieve the unthinkable. This should be our hope for our mayor, and I'm proud to say that my friend Jeff Williams embodies these attributes of leadership, and our city will forever be grateful. Finally, today's event will be more of a conversation, and joining Mayor Williams will be the City of Arlington's Director of Communications and Legislative Affairs, Jay Warren. With that, let me go ahead and toss it over to my friend, the Mayor of Arlington, Jeff Williams.
Thank you, Michael. We certainly appreciate your leadership and the partnership with the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce, and thank you for putting this on. And yes, I wish that we were in person. It would be so much more fun, but we are getting to live stream this over Facebook, so we should reach thousands with the message about what is going on here in Arlington. And you know I love talking about Arlington, don't I, Jay?
Oh, absolutely. And the good thing, Mayor, is we've got plenty of time to do that over the next hour or so, talking about the successes that we've experienced over the last 6 years, but the challenges as well. And I'm not sure that we've had a more challenging time in Arlington's history than in 2020. Not only a pandemic, but also an economic downturn and all the social unrest that really the entire nation and Arlington experienced over the summer. Mayor, I'm wondering, when you first ran for mayor 6 years ago, did you ever think that you would end up with that many crises at one time?
Absolutely not. You know, the pandemic was a natural disaster that just came out of nowhere. And when I think about all of the losses that our citizens have suffered there and hardships too through all of this, it's very sad. But however, it has been very uplifting to see how our citizens have reacted and that character that has come through, the ability for neighbor helping neighbor. We've seen so many instances of that, and then of course the kindness of our community has definitely come out, and it needed to. And so I'm so proud of our citizens.
It really has been inspiring. I think we have a video that we can take a look back at all that happened in 2020. Let's take a look. Mayor, that was a lot to happen in all of 1 year. And really, it began in earnest, the pandemic did here in Arlington in March. That's when you and our city leaders really hit the ground running, right?
Well, I did, and I'll never forget that call that I got after we had our first death in Tarrant County. And definitely it was very sobering, because I had heard that one of our residents in the Masonic Lodge there, in fact our Masonic retirement home, had died, and we were very worried there that COVID was going to go throughout that retirement home. And I got a call from Governor Abbott there offering his help. And in fact, it was an interesting thing, because as he's offering the help, he says, "I need to put you on hold a minute. I've contacted Vice President Pence and he's calling." And so Vice President Pence came on the phone there and offered to send the testing that we needed for us, because this was very early on. You know, there was no testing agent here yet. And so consequently, the testing agent came, but before that, our Arlington Fire Department and our city's health department, along with the county health department, started isolating those 270 residents. And then we tested each one of them. And Jay, it was a phenomenal thing, because we ended up with only 4 others contracting COVID out of those 270 and no other deaths. And in fact, it was such a great partnership from the federal government, state government, county, and then here local. And so proud of our Arlington Fire Department and led by Chief Krausen and Dr. Simmons, who really developed a method there that was going to be used not only here in Arlington but throughout our state and nation for how to deal with nursing homes and doing that isolation and testing.
It's true leadership there, and remarkably, as we sit here today, it's almost 1 year to the day of the anniversary of the passing of Mr. James, the resident of that nursing home. We were able to catch up with his widow and talk with her a little bit about what she experienced, but also seeing her get her vaccine and the hope that she has looking forward. Let's take a listen to that.
He was very kind and caring. He seemed real quiet, but then again not, because he had the best sense of humor. To show how funny he was, he had 82 t-shirts with something on them that was funny, like a wise man once said, "I should ask my wife," things like that. I feel relieved. I've been waiting for this. I know a lot of people where I live have been waiting for it, and I feel relieved. To me, it's the scariest thing that we are facing in our lives, or ever have faced in our lives. And if we can get control of it, and the only way we're going to do that is if people get vaccinated. And I hear people say, "Oh, I'm not going to get that," and stuff, and that's not going to work. And so I know the effect it had on me when he was the first one here. People are suffering in many, many ways. If we don't get it, it's going to spread. And many people will say, "Oh my, I had COVID, it wasn't that bad." Well, no, you're still here. The ones who had it bad aren't still here. He would have embraced the fact that we could be part of the cure, part of the solution.
And Mayor, I think those words there at the end of that video from Ms. James, where she said we could have embraced the fact, he would have embraced the fact that we could have been a part of the cure. They ring so true to so many of us, and it's the hope that we're seeing on so many people's faces as they're getting the vaccine, right?
It is. Tens of thousands of our residents have gotten vaccinated. And what a great job that is being done at the Arlington Vaccination Center here at the eSports Stadium. And there's nothing more uplifting than to see someone get vaccinated, and then even to hear about friends and family to be vaccinated, because every time we give that shot, we get closer to helping other people and, of course, saving lives, helping them stay at work and not be sick, and getting them back to school.
Yeah, and getting back to normal during all that. I know you had the opportunity to tour the eSports Stadium vaccination clinic just the other day, and you talked with the leaders of that, Dr. Cynthia Simmons, our medical director, as well as our fire chief, Don Krausen, and show your appreciation and support on behalf of all of our residents. Let's take a look at your tour.
Here we are at eSports Stadium, Arlington, ground zero for vaccinations, and so proud of our fire department and medical department who are doing incredible work. In fact, they've been recognized throughout the nation for the work that's been done here. And now we have vaccinations going on over at Globe Life Field and AT&T Stadium because we were chosen as a FEMA site. Well, the two people that were the most responsible for all the success in actually saving lives, keeping people at work, and getting them to school is Chief Krausen and Dr. Simmons. Chief Krausen outlined the process and what's going on here. Incredible work that's being done, and our citizens are so grateful.
Absolutely, Mayor. So the planning for this site started 3 or 4 months ago when the federal government was planning for Moderna and Pfizer vaccines to be approved. We started immediately to plan for this site. We put it together December 28th. We activated the site, and the rest is history. We're very, very excited about the success of this site. The planning, the flow, the firefighters, our partners, the police department, and other agencies here working together to make this site very successful. We're just thankful that it's getting the recognition it deserves, and we feel that this business model can be replicated across the country. And in fact, it is. And so we're excited about that fact too.
Well, your process has been phenomenal. And then I've just got to say again, our fire department personnel have been so hospitable, kind, instructive, and reinforcing, and thank you for that work. Now, Dr. Simmons, you've been here from the very beginning when we had our first case of COVID. Share with us your experiences here throughout this.
This has been an incredible experience, Mayor. We've been through a lot in the last year, as have many of our citizens. So we started this a year ago with testing of nursing homes, with understanding the CDC guidelines, with implementing those guidelines, with testing across the city. And as we've moved through this, we've now moved through vaccinations and setting up multiple vaccination sites at this time. It's been incredible. This has been an amazing team effort. Many people in the city, many people with Arlington Fire Department, with our ambulance provider, with American Medical Response. We've done a lot of work, and we've been proud to serve our citizens and the citizens of Tarrant County.
Dr. Simmons, thank you for your hard work. Chief Krausen, thank you. And thank you both for your leadership and dedication and a lot of hours here working on this. But you know, since the very first days that the vaccination center opened, we knew that we had something special here. And word spread throughout the state of the success that was taking place here in Arlington. And consequently, Governor Abbott himself came here and visited along with many other people from all over our state. But you guys take a look.
The way that everybody receiving the vaccination talked about it, they said they had never seen an operation run so effectively, so smoothly, so swiftly, and so easily. They said this is the easiest thing they have ever done going through this process. And so I want to applaud everybody with Arlington and Tarrant County for everything they did to streamline this process.
Well, you can see from Governor Abbott's comments that this is something special that's going on here in Arlington in the vaccination center. And in fact, I've heard from so many of our citizens about their great experience in coming through this and how grateful they are. So let's hear from some of our citizens. Well, such thankful and grateful comments from our citizens. Dr. Simmons and Chief Krausen, I'd love to hear comments from you after hearing from the citizens.
Well, Mayor, thank you. Thank you to all of our citizens for all of the sacrifices that they've made as well. They've sacrificed a lot, and it's our honor and privilege to be part of the solution. We want everybody to continue to stay safe and stay Arlington strong so that we can end this pandemic.
Awesome. Chief Krausen.
Arlington citizens are very gracious. They always have been. It's our honor to serve them. They're helping us get out of this pandemic emergency by being vaccinated, and we're doing it together with a spirit of community. We're thankful for that.
Thank you to both of you, and thank you to our residents. You know, neighbors helping neighbors. We've seen that throughout this pandemic, and even the winter storm that we had just a few weeks ago. In fact, I've just got to say our fire department was unbelievable. They moved from vaccinations to rescue efforts, and then right after the winter storm breaks, they're back here vaccinating. We are so proud of our fire department and what they do and the hard work and dedication each and every day. And yes, we are very proud of what has taken place here at this center. And we are looking forward to better days ahead as we move out of this pandemic because of the hard work that's been done here in this vaccination center. Let's stay together and stay Arlington strong as we move forward to these better days.
You know, Mayor, what strikes me about that is the ability of our residents and our city staff to be able to pivot from crisis to crisis. And the second one that we were really faced with in 2020 was that economic downturn that impacted small businesses, large businesses, families that were worried about keeping a roof over their head or being able to put food on the table. As a city leadership, you and the City Council really were confronted with that second crisis very quickly, right?
We really were, and in fact, we moved and formed an economic recovery task force made up of 35 different business people, very diverse, and I'm so proud of those men and women who gave excellent advice, and we together we were able to come up with a lot of help and solutions for each other. But we had a hard fight there, but I was so proud of what we were able to come up with there and actually able to help our businesses. In fighting that economic downturn, we ended up with $23 million going to small businesses here across our county. We had $5 million in assistance to nonprofits. We had $1 million in eviction prevention and $12 million in rental assistance. And then we worked with people who needed help paying their utilities and particularly their water bills in this very tough time. And then we had great partners. You know, downtown Arlington and the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce both had campaigns to help support our small businesses. And we had a really fun campaign to help our restaurants there that we called the Mayor's Meals for a Mission, in which we actually encouraged our citizens to go do the curbside or takeout from our restaurants there, but then the proceeds from that went over to Mission Arlington, and it you know, helped both ways there.
It was with a generous match from you as well for that challenge. And it all strikes me as the thing, and is really the theme of our entire event here today, which is uniting Arlington. And we certainly saw that and are continuing to see it throughout this pandemic. I'm wondering, as we've seen all this kindness and all those things, what has really struck you the most as we've lived through these last 12 months about Arlington?
Well, it's been the spirit of the people. They have responded to help their neighbors, and that hand of kindness has been going out. And then I saw our nonprofits step up there to help in a big way, from Arlington Charities, Mission Arlington, Arlington Life Shelter, Salvation Army. I could go on, but then our churches, our mosques, our synagogues, they all stepped up to help, and we needed them to so badly. And that is really how we get that name, that can-do spirit. People are willing to help.
They really are. Well, as we go to what we're considering kind of a commercial break for our event, we wanted to take a look at a video that was a national video on Kelly Clarkson's show that displays, I think, perfectly that love and kindness that we had during the pandemic by our Arlington residents. Let's take a look.
Hi Kelly, I'm Brooklyn Richardson and we live in Arlington, Texas. Thank you so much for including us in your Good Neighbor campaign. We are excited that something simple as just painting our fence turned out to be a pretty cool thing in our neighborhood.
My name is Noe Richardson and I'm 8 years old, and this is my brother Reed, and I'm R-E-I-D, and I am 6.5 years old. We came up with the idea to paint our fence because everybody was so sad. Either their parents or friends were in the hospital, or they weren't getting enough food that they needed. So we wanted to cheer them up with our chalk fence.
How did we decide to choose the phrase to say, love one another?
We choose the phrase because right now people are rushing to the stores to get food and paper towels. We thought maybe we wanted to remind them to love one another from 6 feet apart.
We want to share that message with you, but most of all, we want to remind people to love one another,
be kind,
and to stay 6 feet apart. Bye, Kelly.
Bye, Kelly. Bye, Kelly.
The State of the City with Arlington Mayor Jeff Williams is made possible because of our sponsors. Thank you to today's host, the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce. Today's presenting sponsor is the Arlington Highlands. Our platinum sponsors are Atmos Energy, Baylor Scott & White Orthopedic and Spine Hospital Arlington, Candlelight Inn, and JP Morgan Chase. Our gold sponsors are Frost Bank, Medical City Arlington, as well as Tarrant County College Southeast and Texas Health Resources. Our silver sponsors are the Sargent family and Wells Fargo. Our bronze sponsors are listed below. Thank you to each of our sponsors today who made this event possible. Remember, together we succeed.
Arlington Highlands Center is the favorite location in Arlington for shopping, dining, and entertainment. It's an open-air center with over 30 restaurants, also known as Restaurant Row. Restaurants like Lazy Dog, The Keg, and P.F. Chang's, in addition to over 40 shops like James Avery, David's Bridal, The Container Store, and Old Navy. They also have many service retailers for your health, everyday comfort, and everyday needs. Arlington Highlands. If you like our restaurants, you'll love our shops.
It's another great day in Arlington. It is a great day in Arlington, isn't it? It is a great day in Arlington, isn't it? It's a great day in Arlington, isn't it? It is a great day in Arlington, isn't it? It is a great day in Arlington. Yes, it is a great day in Arlington, isn't it?
And Mayor, that has really become your catchphrase throughout your term. And in fact, to the point that I think if you don't say it's a great day in Arlington, people are wondering if it's a bad day in Arlington. But so many of those clips that we just saw there were the big announcements of huge economic deals. And that's something that, starting in 2015, you and the City Council really hit the ground running on economic development, right?
Hell, I am so grateful to have the leadership that we do, and it makes all the difference. And yes, some great things have been happening here in Arlington, and it all is due to people pulling together to make a difference. And of course, one of the things that we have worked hard on is creating jobs. That is so important because as we create jobs, we're able to create revenue so that we are able to provide quality services with our parks and libraries, repair our roads. It's such a critical thing. And I can remember that we had a great economy when I came in 2015, and we knew the opportunities were there. And so many of our leaders said it's our time to seize these opportunities. We have got to get aggressive. And yes, we landed a big one right off the bat in D.R. Horton, our first Fortune 500 company in which they moved their national headquarters here. And that made all the difference. But then from there, we have continued to move there, and so proud of our Economic Development Department and our City Council there in providing great direction. And then we have our Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce that is an equal partner there with us. And then also, we have the Arlington Convention and Visitors Bureau that also is a key partner in economic development.
So many things that unite us to be able to do this in one way or another. But as you mentioned, it was a nationally hot economy. Yet Arlington really stood out in a lot of respects during that time. Why did we stand out, and sometimes better than a lot of other cities, during that really strong economy?
Well, for one, we have some great things to sell here in Arlington, but the most important of all is that we come together and we're able to show businesses and other people who are looking to move here that we can work together and make it a great process for them. And of course, it does take strong leadership, and our City Council has been phenomenal. And of course it takes creativity, and my goodness, our city staff certainly has that. And then it takes a can-do community spirit, and I love the fact that we can, we do. And it's very much thank you to our community for passing our Economic Development Corporation, which is going to help us help small businesses and to help us demolish some of the bad things that are here in town, because I often say we're under demolished, and certainly that has been real key, and I can't wait for this new tool to come online here to help us there. And then I've got to say thank you to our citizens for passing the Globe Life Field there. That also was a catalyst for many of the things that you see happening, but more importantly, it kept us from losing one of our major assets in the Texas Rangers, and instead turned that into one of the great special event centers in America. And then it takes corporate partners who are willing to take a chance and who have a vision and can see that our vision here in Arlington is big. And yes, we dream big, but we make it happen. And then it's an important time here still as we continue to capitalize on this momentum. So you can see we have a lot to offer here in Arlington.
Well, we certainly have had some big dreams, and we've seen a lot of those dreams realized over the last 6 years. Let's take a look at some of those.
Texas Rangers built a phenomenal facility with just some amazing interconnectivities.
The premier sports anchor development in the United States.
This is an urban oasis. This is a resort in the heart of Arlington, Texas.
Today in Arlington, Texas, General Motors is investing $1.4 billion.
Couldn't find a better location for a business environment.
The new esports stadium, Arlington, is the city's attempt to stake its claim as the new national capital of competitive gaming.
Just like your American Dream City brand, you dream big, and you convinced a bunch of people from New York what it's like to do something really special in a market where businesses and public and private partnerships not only survive, but really flourish.
Working with the City of Arlington has been one of the great experiences we've had as a company, and that's in the context of a 110-year history.
So, Mayor, while a lot of the images we saw there may have been economic development in North and Central Arlington, we want to make sure to note that this economic development is happening citywide. And in particular, along the I-20 360 corridor. We're seeing a very interesting development down there. Talk to us about what's happening there.
Well, it may surprise a lot of people, but the I-20 corridor has become one of our largest employment corridors. And you know, I'll never forget, it was so disappointing here about 7 or 8 years ago when we lost National Semiconductor. And yet we all knew there was tremendous potential on the I-20 corridor. Well, we were able to land Federal Express, UPS, which by the way is their largest distribution center, and every city in the Metroplex wanted to attain that. So proud of our Economic Development Department for getting that. But then it led to Summit Racing, which has a huge superstore and then distribution, and then mixed in there was General Motors Financial in the mix of this industrial distribution, but then a very creative company called Rent the Runway, which actually does provide clothing for men and women there for them to wear for the weekend, for instance. And I thought it was a very creative concept, and they have a huge distribution center here in Arlington. And I could go on with more, but what an exciting thing, because providing jobs for our people, but also, again, providing revenue and opportunity for new businesses to be here in Arlington, Texas.
It's certainly grown into one of the foundations of our economy here in Arlington. And I think another foundation we all know about is tourism, which is another phrase that you have coined, and I think people, maybe it's your second most popular phrase, which is other people's money. Explain to us how that works to benefit Arlington.
Well, isn't it awesome when we have OPM or other people's money coming into our city to help us to pay for everything? And it's great for business. And of course, tourism is exactly that. You know, it is so valuable to us because it is a major source of revenue. I get asked many times, why do we have the stadiums? Why do we have Six Flags? Well, it brings us money, but it also provides jobs for our citizens there, and really creates an incredible thing. And hats off to Ron Price and the Arlington Convention and Visitors Bureau, who are doing incredible work and recognized as one of the best in the state. So stay tuned. We're going to continue to grow tourism. And of course, I'm looking forward to Arlington being the destination between Orlando and Vegas.
Well, we've had lots and lots of major national and international events happening here in Arlington over the last few years. And as luck would have it, we have a video of that as well. Let's take a look.
Jeff's vision has really built a spirit of collaboration, I think, that's grown visitors from 80% to 18 million visitors. That's the envy of most cities. During Mayor Williams' tenure, Arlington has become what I would say is tourism's rock star city.
Welcome, football fans, to the 2018 NFL Draft, Texas style.
This stadium in particular in the Arlington area has become one of the premier places for big events in the country.
Back from the World Series, tell me about the things that you weren't talking about on the air.
We had the best setup in the world. You been to that Lowe's next to the ballpark in Arlington?
Yeah, we were there for the Division Series games. That is position A in Major League Baseball.
Oh,
man.
The
ballpark's amazing. That hotel is amazing. That's going to be a nice setup for many years.
Welcome to the Esports Awards 2019, live from Arlington, Texas.
I think anyone who knows Arlington knows it's probably the premier entertainment district in America.
So Mayor, when you see all that, and there's some pretty exciting stuff there, what do you think?
Well, it definitely gets my blood to flowing. And then when I think about the opportunity for Arlington to be featured when most of the country is shut down, and we have the World Series here and those views of Arlington, and then in came the National Finals Rodeo and then the Rose Bowl. Wow, what great advertising, and of course so many. It has made them think about, maybe I want to move my business here, or maybe I want to move to Arlington. It's very exciting. And then of course we've got to give some real kudos to the one who started it all, and that was Six Flags Over Texas. And they are going to have their 60th anniversary this year, and so proud of them. And they have a CEO that thinks big, just like we do. And I can't wait to see what Six Flags does next.
And it was pretty cool over the last year. They moved their international headquarters to Arlington, which was exciting. So we've seen all of this excitement here, and it's easy for us to kind of brag about it, right? But it's even better to hear from someone at the national stage do the same thing. And we actually have that right now. Rob Manfred, who is the Major League Baseball Commissioner, is here to talk to us a little bit about what is so special about what we've done here in Arlington. Let's take a listen to Rob Manfred.
Well, the first and most important thing is a big thank you. Without the leadership of Mayor Williams, the ballpark would never have gotten built, and it was a tremendous accomplishment for the city of Arlington and frankly for the state of Texas and Major League Baseball. I think if I had to use one word, I think it would be innovative. Everything about the ballpark is cutting edge, from the playing surface, the roof, even the ventilation system, which is crucial to health and safety. But maybe most important, the ways, the alternatives for fans to enjoy the game. There's some amazing sight lines in the ballpark that I think will set a standard for our game going forward. The first neutral site World Series was a great success for us, and a big part of it was the setting in Arlington. The ballpark was spectacular. It was a great place for our games to be played. And maybe most important over the long haul, it provided us a venue where we could begin the process of bringing fans back to our games. The city of Arlington has been great to the Rangers and Major League Baseball from the very beginning of this project. But more recently, as we got prepared to open the stadium without fans and then with fans during the World Series, we had great cooperation from the city. They were supportive of every initiative that we felt was important to giving our fans a safe experience in the ballpark. And I can't say enough about the leadership of Mayor Williams.
Well, Mayor, high praise from the Major League Baseball Commissioner for you, but also for our community and the Texas Rangers. And I know that when you started office, keeping the Rangers here was one of your and the City Council's top priorities. I think that's a box checked, right?
Well, and thank goodness, Jay. But when I came into office, so many of our citizens were concerned that we were going to lose the Texas Rangers. A lot of cities wanted to have them in their community. And our citizens rallied around that, and I think they recognized the importance of that franchise. And so many of them, that was their first job, and of course it did provide a lot of jobs and was a great source of income. And we had seen what had happened to Irving when they had lost the Cowboys, and we didn't want that to happen here. And then to see the fact that we actually have a state-of-the-art ballpark that is also a special event center being built. The Rangers really studied the Cowboy Stadium, or AT&T Stadium. They knew what that stadium had done and how it had become a special event center. So now we are very unique in the fact that we have a 40,000-seat state-of-the-art special event center and a 100,000-seat state-of-the-art center over there. No other city has those two things, AT&T Stadium and then Globe Life Field. But then the thing that I'm so proud of is that the ballpark in Arlington, or Globe Life Park as it is now called, is become very vibrant again. It's being repurposed, and what a great facility. And so many believe that that was going to be torn down. Well, not so. As we mentioned, the Six Flags World Headquarters is officing there. We have that office building in center field, and more businesses are moving there. In addition to that, we have high school football, we have a professional soccer team, professional rugby, and stay tuned. There's more to come, and very much that ballpark in Arlington is alive and well and is adding a lot to that area.
Well, that's kind of a great segue to my last question to kind of wrap up this section, which is if you could pull out your crystal ball and look at what Arlington's economy is going to be as we grow out of this pandemic and out of this economic downturn, where do you see us headed?
Well, to see us headed, look at Texas Live. You know, you start with it because that is the largest entertainment complex in Texas, and then we added the Live by Lowe's Hotel. Well, that was a vision that our citizens had some 3 decades ago, and we finally got development going on around our stadiums. And so that is where we're going. We're going to be able to build more. I see us creating a resort atmosphere. I see 4,000 hotel rooms being built by Lowe's and a resort atmosphere. And of course, we have coming a 900-room hotel and new convention center that stay tuned because that's just around the corner for us. But then I also see us having a real depth to us because we're going to have the National Medal of Honor Museum going right in the middle of all of this, and you can imagine the opportunity there for Arlington to take on that responsibility and be that beacon there of education, actually espousing the qualities of those Medal of Honor recipients, and literally thousands of people every month coming to Arlington at the National Medal of Honor Museum.
Well, as we climb out of the economic downturn, it certainly will be helped if we get some financial aid from the federal government. And I know that's something that you have been fighting for as a national leader. And we wanted to take a look at a video that shows some of the work you've been doing as the chair of the Metro Economies Committee for the U.S. Conference of Mayors that is out there supporting and advocating for those dollars for communities that are hard hit. Let's take a look at that as we go to commercial break.
Just last month, President Biden called Jeff Williams to the Oval Office to get your mayor's advice on today's challenges. 4 mayors came, but Mayor Williams held court on national issues and even international issues. They listened to him, he was respected, and they heard him. In our family of USA mayors, as diverse and lively as they are, and believe me, they can be lively, when Jeff Williams opens his mouth to speak, the room is hushed. They shut up. They listen to him, they learn from him, and they act. They follow him because he is a true leader among his peers.
Some North Texas leaders sent a letter to lawmakers pushing for aid for cities and municipalities. Arlington Mayor Jeff Williams was one of them.
We've gotten the aid to help us to treat the virus, but yet we now need to rebuild. Our economies have been gutted.
Arlington, Texas Mayor Jeff Williams says local communities need the help to bounce back.
With this direct fiscal assistance, we have the opportunity to put that money right in the right place to be able to help our businesses, our less fortunate. I think it is paramount. We've heard this from Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chairman, about how important it is to get this money directly to cities. And if we don't do it now, it's going to cost us more later, and we've been left out.
Basically, we have been fortunate to be able to get a lot of state and federal help for emergency and medical services, but yet now we're at a point where we need to rebuild our cities. It's much like a hurricane or a flood or a tornado. There you need help from the federal government for emergency medical services, but also you get help for rebuilding your community.
The State of the City with Arlington Mayor Jeff Williams is made possible because of our sponsors. Thank you to today's host, the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce. Today's presenting sponsor is the Arlington Highlands. Our platinum sponsors are Atmos Energy, Baylor Scott & White Orthopedic and Spine Hospital Arlington, Candlelight Inn, and JP Morgan Chase. Our gold sponsors are Frost Bank, Medical City Arlington, as well as Tarrant County College Southeast and Texas Health Resources. Our silver sponsors are the Sargent family and Wells Fargo. Our bronze sponsors are listed below. Thank you to each of our sponsors today who made this event possible. Remember, together we succeed.
One Texas city is trading public buses for ride-sharing. Arlington introduced commuter buses in 2013, but now the city has abandoned them, replacing them with a new partnership with the ride-sharing company Via. Vans pick up passengers on demand for a $3 ride. Arlington is the first U.S. city to experiment with this kind of venture. Chris Van Cleve went to Arlington to show us the cost-saving innovation.
Good morning. This is where you used to wait for a bus in Arlington, Texas, but you'd be waiting a long time. Now, as the sign says, the city dropped its bus service, going for more of a virtual bus stop that you summon with an app. And here is what the new city buses look like. It's actually a ride share. Arlington, Texas wants to know if this could be the answer to mass transit in the Uber age. The city partnered with app-based ride-sharing service Via to operate 10 vans to shuttle residents, replacing the city's 4-year-old commuter bus service.
Well, Mayor, that was from about 3 years ago. National CBS News came in here to look at what Arlington was doing to transform transportation. How cool is that?
It is really cool, Jay, and as an engineer, I certainly can appreciate it. And when you think about that, we were known for so many years as the largest city in the United States without public transportation, to now become one of the most innovative cities in transportation. What a transformation. And I'm very appreciative of our city council for being willing to explore all the new technology that is out there, and then also for city staff to develop this. You know, it was their idea to come forward with this technology rideshare that it then turned into a partnership with Via. And now we are able to go citywide and take care of all of our citizens in a very convenient method of transportation for $8.3 million a year, compared to other cities that are spending just $50 million a mile just on light rail. And yet now we are able to take care of them. And stay tuned. There are going to be more innovation coming. And also I've got to say too that we have suddenly pivoted to where we are looking at data and technology for solutions that are cost effective and are safer for our citizens. We're doing things that we never dreamed we could do because of technology.
It really is that innovation does not just apply to transportation. Certainly it's a big deal there, but it applies to so many of the things we do in our community. Policing, data, it's a long list, right?
It really is. And in fact, every city department is employing technology to make us better, and it's really working. And in fact, it's resulted into our community receiving the What Works Cities in Innovation and a gold certification. Now, the significance of that is that there is only one city in Texas that has that, and it's Arlington, of course. And then there are only 8 in the nation, and it is one of the most sought after awards there, because we know when you do that, you are going to be making better decisions because you are using the data to help assist you.
Well, that is a great transition to our next video, which looks at all of the innovative things we're doing here in the city of Arlington. Let's take a look.
Right now, one of the most interesting public transit experiments in the world is happening in Arlington.
This is the type of project that helps set the table, and it helps prove up the vitality for downtown, so it will over time attract more investment.
The future of self-driving automobiles is taking shape in Arlington.
Innovation's in our DNA, innovation's in Arlington's DNA, and you look at what the city's been doing, it is a perfect partnership.
The City of Arlington is extremely innovative in how it uses communications to really engage residents in the conversation with government, to both understand the services and programs that government provides to its community, but also to incorporate resident voice and resident need to inform the policies and programs of government.
So while Mayor, so much of what we do does involve being innovative, that doesn't mean that we aren't doing the basics, the kind of boring stuff, if you will, which is filling potholes and making sure our roads are maintained, which I know is a priority for City Council.
Very much so, Jay, and that is so important. You know, people notice the roads and they expect them to be in good condition, and we have been very aggressive in repairing our roads, and our citizens have supported it. In fact, they just passed the bond program here again so that we can continue on the most aggressive program that we have ever had on repairing roads. And we have actually lowered our poor roads from 20% to 9%. And now we hope that we're going to be able to cut that more. And then I'm very proud of our 2 pothole crews that go out every day here to be able to make a difference there. And you need to call in or use our Ask Arlington app to let us know about where those potholes are, because they are doing great work. But the other part of this is that we have been able to really work on our highways, and we have some very significant projects that I want to share with you that are making a difference. And I'll begin here by talking about 360 South. You know, it's the expansion between I-20 there and I-30, which has been so important here for us. And then that leads to a project that we have been wanting to have done for decades. In fact, Mayor Vandergrift wanted the I-30 360 interchange to be redone, and we're getting close to being finished. And it's ironic because his son, Victor Vandergrift, was one of the key factors in getting that project funded, and very grateful to him for that. And then you move to Center Street Bridge down on I-20. What a difference that bridge is going to make, and we have future roads that are going to be coming out of it. And then, of course, the Abrams Street rebuild, which totally has transformed downtown with what is happening there. We have a great pedestrian walkway, still able to maintain great flow through downtown, but also beautifying the real heart of our community, and what a game changer that's been.
And pretty exciting news, Mayor, because out on the roads you're talking about, we're about to have driverless technology, and you've got a cool new announcement about that today.
We sure do. You know, we started here several years ago with having the first public shuttle that was driverless there, and our citizens responded well. Now, they were a little scared at first, but they went out and tried it out, got used to the technology. Then we moved forward and put driverless vehicles on our public streets without any complaints. It worked out well. And then now we're taking the next step in which we are going to be using driverless vehicles there as part of our technology rideshare. And we are partnering with the May Company and also the University of Texas at Arlington, Jay.
Yeah, it is a really cool project. I know you just talked with the CEO of May Mobility. And let's take a listen to what he describes of this technology and how it's going to work here in Arlington.
Well, it's been very exciting times here in Arlington, Texas, in the way of transportation innovation and mobility. We have risen to be one of the leaders in the nation in technology for transportation, and it's been very exciting. You know, we've got VIA, we have done autonomous vehicle research, our traffic signal technology, and artificial intelligence. And then now we have a new program that we are doing with May Mobility and the University of Texas at Arlington. And we are very excited about it. And we are honored to have with us today Ed Olson with May Mobility. And Ed, just to kick it off, share with us why Arlington is such a perfect fit for this program.
Yeah, and thank you for the invitation.
Arlington is great for us. I think we share a lot of values in common with Arlington, a desire to innovate with new technology, but also a desire to put that technology to work, helping everyday people get around town. So that's really exciting for us. We're excited to launch integrated with the VIA service, which will make it really easy for anyone, members of the general public, to call a shuttle. And we're also really passionate about making sure that transportation services are available to everyone, whether you're a student, a community member, a faculty member, or someone who has an accessibility need. And within this zone, there's a lot of great points of interest, so it's great to be able to connect people where they need to go.
You know, it's very exciting that a lot of this new technology is more cost effective and safer and really improves mobility. And share with us what you're hoping to accomplish with the May Mobility vehicles right here in Arlington.
First and foremost, our goal is to provide great service to the riders, to provide a service that's useful, timely, safe. And we have a lot of experience. We've actually delivered over 270,000 rides in the past, and we're looking forward to growing that number here in Arlington. But we also want to get people a taste of the technology. Autonomy is where the future is going to be, and this is a great opportunity for us to work with the people who live here in Arlington and show them a bit of the future.
Well, it's very exciting, and share with us what we can expect with the launch here in late March of this program.
It's super simple to use. You use the VIA app and you request a ride just like you would regularly request a ride. It's $3 to the general public, and we encourage everyone to come and see what it's all about.
Well, we are looking forward here to March for this launch. And once again, the opportunity for us to provide new opportunities in transportation for our citizens that are more cost effective and safer as we move forward. Ed, thank you for partnering with us. And we also want to say a big shout out to the University of Texas at Arlington too, here as we move forward together to improve the quality of life for our citizens and the ability for them to be able to move to school, work, to play, whatever it may be. Stay tuned, because we are going to be looking forward to that launch in late March with May Mobility. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you, Mayor.
Well, Mayor, that is a really exciting and groundbreaking project, another way that Arlington's leading here in the nation. And another one happened almost a decade or more ago when cities across Texas and a lot of the country were started getting gas well revenue. Many of them just pumped it right back in to their general fund. And here in Arlington, our city leaders and city council said, let's actually create a foundation, a charitable foundation, and reinvest that money by giving it to our nonprofits to improve our community. And that really was groundbreaking at the time. Talk to us now, almost more than a decade later, what's the impact that's had here in our community?
Well, it's been a game changer, Jay. Literally, it is making a difference here, and I think it's a generational thing. And so much money has been funded there to help our nonprofits and people in need, but also to further the arts in places that a city wouldn't be able to normally fund. And in fact, we're approaching almost $22 million now just since I became mayor. And let me share with you some of the things that have been funded. First of all, the downtown Arlington Library, which I call our community learning center, an incredible place. And then, of course, we also have plans for a newly renovated Theater Arlington, and that's brand new. The foundation just approved that, and we're looking forward to renovations here. As we've come out of the pandemic, they are going to be able to open up their theater, and I can't wait to see many of our future students on that stage there, without a doubt. And then the Arlington Life Shelter. Man, I've been so proud of our citizens that came together there, and of course the seed money for that came from the Arlington Tomorrow Foundation, which really led to a lot of other gifts that made that successful. And then improvements to many of our parks, including Richard Simpson Park and River Legacy. You know, and then I've got to share with you, the foundation was able to make a great gift, a founder's gift, to the National Medal of Honor Museum, which is going to be so exciting, and what a difference that is going to make. And then let's not forget the annual Arlington Gives event during North Texas Giving Day. You know, they have picked Arlington here to be the headquarters here for North Texas on that day. And it's the largest event in North Texas there for the Giving Day. And then in the last 7 years, the foundation has helped raise $4 million specifically for more than 100 Arlington nonprofits. And I've got to say thank you to Carolyn Mentasana and the Arlington Tomorrow Foundation staff and the board members there for having that foresight, and our advisory board that is made up of a diverse group of citizens there. What a difference the Arlington Tomorrow Foundation is making.
And one of the cool things about that day of giving is a lot of those donations are going to some of our smaller charities, and it's really a lifeline to them, right?
Very much so. There are so many times just the little bit of money can go a long way in our nonprofits and to get them over. And so this fund didn't exist there before, and now that it does, it is enabling us to move forward and help people and improve the quality of our city in ways that we never could.
And it is now the largest charitable foundation in all of Arlington, which is pretty cool, and another example of how groundbreaking, innovative, the leadership that we have here and what they provided, it's just incredible. And as we go to our break here, our final break, we wanted to take a look again at VIA, the VIA program, and how successful it's been and how it is helping our students and the student body at TCC.
Many of our students that come here are first-time college students, first-generation students. They don't have the resources in order to come to school, but see the ability to get an education as one that has a lot of obstacles.
With VIA going all the way to the south end of the city, I'm like, man, I can really go to school now and not worry about how I'm going to afford to go to school that day, or how am I going to get back home. I can spend those extra $5 or $6. I can get something to eat before I go to class, knowing that I have extra money now, or I can use those $5 to $6 to pay for something I need for school.
Putting the VIA with the price of $3 a ride and $15 a week for the package has really kind of let the students being able to do both things, attain their education and then also continue their employment so they can support their families.
The State of the City with Arlington Mayor Jeff Williams is made possible because of our sponsors. Thank you to today's host, the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce. Today's presenting sponsor is the Arlington Highlands. Our platinum sponsors are Atmos Energy, Baylor Scott & White Orthopedic and Spine Hospital Arlington, Candlelight Inn, and JP Morgan Chase. Our gold sponsors are Frost Bank, Medical City Arlington, as well as Tarrant County College Southeast and Texas Health Resources. Our silver sponsors are the Sargent family and Wells Fargo. Our bronze sponsors are listed below. Thank you to each of our sponsors today who made this event possible. Remember, together we succeed.
Arlington Highlands Center is the favorite location in Arlington for shopping, dining, and entertainment. It's an open-air center with over 30 restaurants, also known as Restaurant Row. Restaurants like Lazy Dog, The Keg, and P.F. Chang's, in addition to over 40 shops like James Avery, David's Bridal, The Container Store, and Old Navy. They also have many service retailers for your health, everyday comfort, and everyday needs. Arlington Highlands. If you like our restaurants, you'll love our shops.
Been 10 years in the making, but tomorrow morning, Arlington is going to open up their brand new high-tech library to everybody. But good news for you, you're sitting there watching. Ken Molestina gets you a sneak peek inside.
So certainly there's all kinds of books inside of the library, but long gone are the days where the books are the focal point of what's going on inside this building. These days, they're more of a complement to everything else that they've got going on in here.
Well, this ain't your mama's library for sure.
Not by a long shot. This is downtown Arlington's brand new George W. Hawks Library. Here, you don't have to be quiet or shy about imagination.
We wanted to make this space, a 21st century library. And what that means is providing the best, top-of-the-art technology.
Everywhere you look, technology seems to be the inspiration for design and amenities, further positioning Arlington as a tech city.
An eye to technology, that is 100% what people will find when they go to our state-of-the-art downtown library. But Mayor, it's just one of a series of state-of-the-art facilities that we've opened here across our city, north, east, west, south, all over the city. Talk to us about what impact these investments have in our neighborhoods and community?
Well, first of all, it provides an incredible gathering place for our citizens to come. And then when they come together, we actually create that community that we all want to have. And then in addition to that, the programming here that our city staff puts on in these facilities is phenomenal, and it helps our citizens. But as you mentioned, we have had amenities all over our city in all directions. And of course, just to name a few, East Arlington Recreation Center, the Beacon, and then I don't want to leave out the Active Adults Senior Center that is going to be going up too. The design is underway, and I get asked that all the time. But all of these facilities that we have really do help encourage and make a real statement that we care about all areas of our city. And when you think about being able to improve the learning and the physical fitness there, which we value even more, I know I do, after this pandemic, that is certainly a major priority for us as we move forward. And you know, it's not just the city making huge investments. We have seen the same at Arlington ISD, Mansfield ISD, and HEB ISD, and Tarrant County Community College and UT Arlington. Our educational institutions have been phenomenal and love what they're doing.
So many great facilities happening all across our city. They're beautiful, and I'm not sure our words could do justice to them, so let's take a look at some of them.
Bright, open, and not quiet, but cool. That is the goal of what the City of Arlington calls a public library for the 21st century.
This is a powerhouse of resources in East Arlington. It's a significant investment in East Arlington that I really believe is pivotal for this community.
Building will enhance UT Arlington's already unrivaled standing, and the possibilities for discovery and innovation are limitless.
Southeast Arlington has been craving something for so long, and we're excited that we can have the opportunity to provide it. It's not just a gym, it's so much more.
Our country is full of extremely good people, people with big hearts. I meet them all the time. People like yourself, people like the mayor.
All right, man, I've got some pretty cool math here. If you just add up all that's been invested through the Arlington Independent School District bonds, and there's been 2 over the last 6 years, plus the City of Arlington bonds over the last 2 years, plus the street sales tax, the maintenance fund that we have there, coming from our sales tax, all of that, just that, added together is $1.7 billion with a B invested in Arlington in the last 6 years. That's mind-blowing, isn't it?
It is. That's a large number, but to our taxpayers, I want you to know that we did all that without raising any taxes, and in fact, for 5 straight years, we have reduced the tax rate. So now you can relax and listen to it because we've invested here in our community and it hasn't cost us any more. And then I've got to say too that it's not only our investment, but we also have some great partners who are investing. And I'll just mention our medical community. Medical City Arlington has just invested hundreds of millions of dollars in their hospital, and that means investing in each one of us, and such an important thing. And then we see that THR has built a new sports clinic and continues to invest here. And of course, they have their national headquarters right here in our city. And then Baylor Scott & White, oh my goodness, their facilities are awesome, and they have become a great philanthropic partner. And that's been so key to our success in seeing those investments being made. But then going back to education. You know, I want to share with you an example of where Arlington ISD here really met with Arlington, our city, and talked to us about where we should put the natatorium and the Performing Arts Center that are truly state-of-the-art, world-class facilities. And we looked hard in downtown. We would have loved for it to have been there. We just couldn't find the piece of land there. So we moved over to East Arlington, and we thought, what an opportunity we can put it here where so many of our economically disadvantaged are, but also an area of Arlington that I think is going to be just being rebuilt, and this is a catalyst for that to happen, and yet still at the edge of the entertainment district where it's very visible. And very much appreciate Arlington ISD for working with us. And then I need to give the example of Mansfield ISD, creating the first Jandruco Academy here in South Arlington, which really focuses on our preschool children that are economically disadvantaged and their parents, and really helps them get ready for school. And it's been a game changer, amazing things that are happening down there. And then I moved to Tarrant County Community College. They have pivoted so quickly to help our students actually get training to help them get into the jobs, and then helped our high school students not only get a diploma, but also to get a associate's degree. I think it's an 87% success ratio with what they are doing. And then we look at the University of Texas at Arlington, and they continue to invest in our community and in our students. And of course, the science, engineering, innovation research building is a great example of that, and very grateful to President Tech Lim here and his emphasis on partnering with the city.
So as you look at all that investment, and people are going to say, well, you're building a lot of buildings and you're investing a lot, what's the payoff? How is it working? And we've got some great stats for that, right?
Absolutely, Jay, and let's just turn again to Arlington ISD. So proud of Dr. Marcelo Cavazos and that school board there, through creating facilities that are tools for the teachers to be able to help them in teaching. And they moved from a score of 78 to an 87 score, an amazing change there. One of the biggest jumps of any school district here in Texas. And so proud of them and what they are doing, and they continue to improve, and looking forward to what they are doing. And then I'll come back to the University of Texas at Arlington. They have actually achieved Tier 1 research status, and of course previously already had the Carnegie Institute of Research designation. They are a game changer, and so many of our businesses are partnering with them, and of course we certainly are, and very appreciative of that.
Mayor, everything you're talking about there I think speaks to how Arlington really is united, and how that can-do spirit can make such a difference. Is all these groups come together, they're creating their dreams, and they're allowing others to live their American dream. One of those dreams that this city had that kind of came up out of thin air, really, and came to fruition in a very short amount of time was the National Medal of Honor Museum. I know you've got a cool backstory for that one.
Well, it really is neat because it speaks to our citizens being proud of their city. Because we have a citizen here whose name is Sid Epps, and he is a longtime resident of Arlington. He also is chairman of the board of the Air Power Foundation, which puts on the largest military event helping veterans. And so consequently, the National Medal of Honor Museum Foundation called him and said that we don't believe we're going to be able to be putting the museum in Texas. And we know, Sid, you wanted that to happen, but we just don't think it's possible. Well, guess what Sid said? He said, what about Arlington? Have you looked at Arlington? And then their response was, what is Arlington? And I love that because Sid went into a great diatribe. What, you don't know about Arlington? And he shared with them all of the great things that are happening here. And guess what? They said that if you can get the mayor the next day, we'll come over and visit with him. And so Sid there through Steve Cavender, another one of our citizens, got my number, called me on that Thursday night. And then immediately I got off the phone, called our staff, called our city manager, our Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce, their Arlington Convention and Visitors Bureau, and we met with them the next day. We rolled out the red carpet, piqued their interest to where then they came back the next week with their full team to look at Arlington. And Arlington was on full display. And of course, Arlington citizens came together and we had several visits over that 6-month period because we were competing against all of the major cities in America. And then when it came to the end, it was San Diego and Denver, and ultimately it was Arlington was picked. And I love what General Patrick Brady, one of the National Medal of Honor recipients and a board member, said. He said, it was truly the spirit of the people in Arlington that really sent it over the top for us to come here. And he said, I truly call this the heartland of America. My heart was warmed, and so many people here throughout Arlington helped to make that so. And I think it is going to be one of the greatest assets here to our community and to our state and to our nation.
Well, just this week we actually talked to retired Major General Patrick Brady, a recipient of the National Medal of Honor, to get his take on why Arlington was the right pick. And let's take a listen to what his assessment was.
Welcome to Arlington, Texas, the future home of America's newest treasure, the National Medal of Honor Museum.
We went out across the country and we looked at many cities and localities in this country wanted us to come to their location. They went to great length to get us to come. And if I had to identify the one thing that broke the tie, that brought us to Arlington, it was values. It was, in fact, patriotism, which is a hallmark of that community. There's no other museum in the world quite like it. It's not about a war. It's not about a branch of the service, Army, Infantry, Air Force. It's not about a activity, armor. It's about all those things in every war, from the Civil War to the present day. It covers everything. And so it will be unique, but it will not focus on the valor part of the medal. It's going to focus on the values part of the medal. Every veteran we know is dedicated to the future. They believe that life has no meaning unless it's lived for the benefit of future generations. And so the purpose of this is the legacy of the medal. Those three things, courage, patriotism, and sacrifice, to pass those things on to young people. We want a young person to walk in the front door of that museum, and he's going to see heroes who are not wearing capes or whatever, they're wearing dog tags. He's going to walk out the back of that thing a different person. He's going to realize he can be a hero, and he doesn't have to go to war to be a hero. He can be a hero in his community, that he can be a hero simply by being a patriotic, good citizen. The medal doesn't make anybody special, but it does allow us to do special things. And this museum is like the most special thing we can do.
And Mayor, I now know that you are a permanent member of the board for the National Medal of Honor Museum. So talk to us a little bit about where they are in the process and when we might see the doors open.
Well, here we've been going through a pandemic, and I was so worried about the effect on the being able to raise money and then to move ahead on the design, but yet the Medal of Honor Foundation has moved out. They have already collected $74 million. They out of the $200 million project, and that's really without even formally starting the campaign. And then in addition to that, they selected a world-renowned architect that has done many museums and special buildings. And you see the design here that is really a phenomenal design and has been so well received. And we can see how iconic it's going to be sitting there on the lake there right here in Arlington at the center of the United States. And then in addition to that, they are planning on working on their education curriculum that will be taken to the State Board of Education here in Texas so that our school children can study the values of these Medal of Honor recipients and then take a field trip to the museum. And then of course we think that will spread throughout the United States. And then also we're going to be forming a leadership institute that will actually be able to bring community leaders, corporate executives, our youth, all here to study and learn together to be better leaders. It's going to be a game changer for our nation, and what an opportunity for Arlington to once again take the lead in working for our community.
You know, you mentioned leadership, and I want to transition to another crisis that the city faced and our leadership faced last year in the wake of the brutal murder of George Floyd by a Minneapolis police officer, and the impact that that had nationwide, and Arlington certainly was impacted by it as well. And you and the City Council took quick and decisive action very early in the unrest that was happening nationwide by creating the Unity Council. How did that come about, and what was the vision for it and your hope for it?
Well, after the murder of George Floyd, you know, I knew that many hearts had been softened, and I knew that we had to take action. We are an international city that needs to be reaching out to all of our citizens, and every one of them needs to be treated with respect and equality. And so consequently, I brought forward to our council the idea of a citizens committee that would actually study social justice and equity and make recommendations to our council. Our council jumped all over it. They were so excited and they had great ideas, and we ended up with a 28-member committee. And then Dr. Barbara Odom Wesley came up with the idea of naming it the Unity Council. And again, our council embraced that name because that's really what the goal was for this group, is to bring together and create unity by treating people and making sure, treating people well and showing respect, and then looking for any areas of racial discrimination or other kinds of discrimination so that we could move forward and be a better place. Well, this Unity Council has been working over the last few months, and they've been working hard. You know, they actually meet in large groups, but they also had subcommittees in which they had small groups. They had focus meetings. They brought in experts from around the country. And then I'm so proud of Dr. Jason Shelton, who was actually the chairman of the committee. And my goodness, with his background and being head of African American Studies over at the University of Texas at Arlington, and having studied this topic, he was the perfect one to bring it. But here's the best thing about Dr. Shelton. He lives here in Arlington. He's raising his family here. He had a vested interest, and you can see it in his passion.
Yeah. Well, Mayor, you mentioned Dr. Shelton, and he and the Unity Council made their final presentation to City Council just a couple of weeks ago with their final report, and we thought we'd take a listen to a portion of what he had to say to City Council.
You all essentially allowed this committee to move and to explore from the ground up. And I think that is what allows our project to be so much more unique and different from other cities. I think that as time passes, I mean, not even as time passes, I'm not saying this to you, Mr. Mayor, but I'm saying for anybody who wants to pick up a racial equity report from one of the top 50 cities in the US in terms of size and diversity, ours stands out. As soon as you look at page 1, you will see the difference. And I think it's because you allowed us the room to move, to explore tough topics in difficult ways, and allow and have the faith in the people that served on this committee to make tough decisions and find their own common ground. And I think that's what is the ultimate strength of the project.
So, Mayor, that was an incredibly detailed report, more than 100 pages that they presented to the City Council. I'm wondering what stood out to you most, and what you think out of that report is the most actionable here in the next few weeks and months.
Well, it was very comprehensive, but there were some real great items in there. And of course, we're looking forward to implementing those recommendations. And there were several things that stood out. And before I name them, I've got to again say thank you to this Unity Council. They did such a great job there through it. But to begin with, I'd like to say that we creating a more robust program to increase our MWBE participation was right at the top, and that's so important here for our community. And then we also working to create an executive level position to oversee equity and equality issues for the city. And then creating a permanent Unity Council, because the work is going to take time, because we also have to work on culture. And then we also need accountability. And then also we need kindness. And this same group, before they were formed, many of them were working in our kindness campaign. They were part of our Community Relations Council. And that is so important, to continue to put kindness on the minds of our citizens.
Well, I want to break a little news here, because the Unity Council, the action that you and the City Council took by creating it, has actually now garnered some national attention, and the National League of Cities has just now announced that our Unity Council project has been awarded the 2021 Diversity Award. And I want to exactly quote what they said. They said, "The judges called our Unity Council a shining example of diversity and total communication, collaboration, and partnership." It's great praise, and congratulations, Mayor, to you and the City Council for that.
Well, Jay, I've got to say thank you to our City Council too. I mean, they embraced this. It was unanimous. Everyone was so excited. And then for those of us viewing, we let the Unity Council work, but council members and myself were watching many of the meetings and so impressed there with how the concern for our city, the hard work that was done, and then of course actually obtaining that input from our citizens, which was so important. And I need to thank our citizens, because many of them had great ideas and great input, and actually great sources there for us to look into there also. But this is so important here, because I believe unity is one of the most important things for any city. And these recommendations are going to be our guidebook for getting us to the next level. And I've got to thank our past leaders there, because we are building on the legacy of so many of our previous leaders who have worked on this, but now we had a window of opportunity and we stepped through. So thank you to the NLC for giving us this award, and I think it's really going to mean a lot to not only our City Council, our Unity Council, but also to our citizens, because it is a firm award that means we believe in diversity and we believe in taking care of our citizens.
Absolutely, and you believe so strongly in kindness, and it was one of the first initiatives that you kicked off as mayor. Why was that one of the first things that you wanted to tackle?
Well, we're known as a city with a can-do spirit, but yet we have citizens coming here from all over the world. In fact, we now have over 100 countries that are represented here in our city. And of course, we have the University of Texas at Arlington to thank for that. Well, it's important for us to celebrate it and embrace it. But many times barriers are up because we don't necessarily go and talk to the people that look different from us or act different, and yet we need to. And so putting that on the minds of our citizens to be kind is so important. And I love what is happening in our schools. I mean, whether it be the public or private, and especially in our elementary schools, the kids embrace that. And when I go into the schools, that's what they want to talk about. Mayor, I had an act of kindness. I did this or that, and I helped my neighbor. And that's so important. And then we as adults have got to set the example. So we will continue to put that on the minds of our citizens, because the true secret to our can-do spirit is that we are willing to work together, and that means everybody.
It sure does. And one of the things to come out of that kindness initiative was something that we started last year. Engage Arlington created a Unity Day here in Arlington, where folks got out, rolled up their sleeves, even in the middle of a pandemic, to help the people less fortunate than the rest of us. And so we have a video of that we wanted to show everyone of exactly what it did accomplish.
Well, it's pretty amazing because Engage Arlington has come together with our city, and we have people from all over our community all helping their neighbors.
I think it's magnificent, and I think it's a wonderful program. We got to the place where we just could not do the work anymore. And when I talked to a code enforcement officer, she told me about the program, and I said, I would be very thankful because it would make the house decent again.
Basically, what you're going to do is you're just going to come out here, don't pour it out, just like that.
It's awesome, you know, that people want to come out and be part of something in their community. We're not just sowing seed or whatever. I think what we're doing here really is making a positive contribution to the quality of life here in Arlington.
I think it's really important for people to come together, and it just gives a sense of community versus just, you know, everyone's on their own in the city. I think it kind of joins everyone together and for one cause overall, and maybe a lot of little projects, but it's one big cause. And I think that the sense of community and just coming together to help each other, I think it's what we need right now as, you know, a nation, a city, just neighbors. I think that's what we need right now.
This effort just typifies the can-do spirit of Arlington. And so, you know, people come out to help their neighbors basically because in a sense we're all neighbors. Even though this town is over 300,000, we're all neighbors.
I want to thank everybody that was involved in this project. It means the world to my sister and I. Thank you all so much.
Jay, that was a special weekend. You know, our citizens working alongside each other, and it was interesting. You know, I went to several projects, and in one project I was working there for a few minutes and suddenly discovered I was surrounded by the Arlington Police Department. And they were just people working and wanting to give back, and it made such a difference. And when I think about all of the times that we have worked on projects, that is where really great friendships are formed, but also you're able to help your neighbor through that. So consequently, has some exciting news because we are going to have another Unite Arlington weekend on April the 17th and 18th, and very grateful to Engage Arlington, who is helping and actually directing that a lot, and to our city staff who is gathering up a lot of projects for us to do. So you can volunteer, and also we're going to kick that weekend off on Friday morning at the Levitt with the Mayor's Community Prayer Breakfast there on April the 16th. So we've got some exciting things coming up to, again, work on bringing us together and making a difference for our citizens.
Yeah, uniting Arlington. Well, Mayor, as we close out, quite a few people wanted to say thank you to you, and a lot of them are your friends and people you've worked with over the last 6 years, acknowledging that this is your final State of the City here. And so I know you are not aware that this video is about to be played, but we wanted you to see some of the appreciation and love that the community has for you and the work that you've done here over your term as mayor. So let's take a look.
I cannot think of a better honor than to be able to say thank you to Mayor Jeff Williams. The way that you have led this city has been more than we could have ever imagined or expected. And I think that's scriptural. And so thank you, Mayor, for the many, many ways that you have helped people. Most people will never know all that has been done to help them get what they need. And your support to this city, every person, regardless of their circumstances, has been just a blessing from God. Thank you.
Now this is a fun video to make. Congratulations, Mayor Williams, on a nearly 6-year tremendous run for the city of Arlington, Texas. It has been my proud honor to endorse and support you during your time in office. We're excited to see what new ventures are ahead for Arlington, but we will certainly fondly remember the ones we were in these past half a dozen years.
Mayor Williams, you accomplished more in 6 years than most mere mortals could do in 60 years. And I don't even think that would be enough time. It was such an honor for our family to get to work with you and to play our role in help delivering for you and the city of Arlington. We will stay committed to developing world-class attractions and honoring the legacy that you've set. Thank you, Mayor Williams. Congratulations on an incredible, incredible job.
I want to personally thank you, Jeff, for your friendship
all of your contributions to the Arlington ISD and the city. You've been an outstanding public servant to Arlington and a great partner to the district. Your dedication will truly be missed. Remember, you're always welcome at any career day or story time whenever you want. I wish you the best, Jeff.
We're often asked, recipients that I've known and been with many, many years now, why they did what they did. And certainly part of the answer is they did what they did in the spur of the moment because of their fellow soldiers. But a better answer, I think, is we did what we did for people like your mayor, like Mayor Williams. It's people like him and this country that contribute so much to this country, that inspires people like me and other recipients to do what we did to protect and defend this country. This guy is a patriot. He's going to be an asset to this museum, and through this museum, he'll be an inspiration to young people from now on.
Mayor Williams, on behalf of my family and our company, we just wanted to say thank you. It's been an incredible privilege and honor, one of my career, to get the opportunity to work with you. The legacy you've left for your community is remarkable. We could not be more appreciative, and we wish you the best of luck and can't wait to see what public service you do next in your career. Thank you again, Mayor.
Look at what we've accomplished with your support and your leadership. The MWBE, 25%, $55.7 million. More African Americans and diversity on boards, even in the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce. All of these things are incredible because of your leadership. We're going to miss you, but we know you're not going to go far.
Well, Mayor, let me just say to you, thank you. I remember the first day I met you, and you talked to me. I listened to you. I've been here many, many years, as you know, 50, and I've never been more impressed with you as a leader and a person I respect. You fought the good fight, and there's still a lot of fight in you. So what I say is take a rest, get back in the game. We need you. We need your leadership. God bless you, my friend.
Mayor Jeff Williams, we are proud and blessed to have you as our Mayor of Arlington, Texas for the past 6 years. Under your leadership, Arlington City has become the dream city for many of our Asian American businesses and communities. Thank you for your great vision, accomplishment, dedication, support, and kindness.
Mr. Mayor, on behalf of all of your friends from Lowe's Hotels, we want to thank you. Thank you for your vision, your leadership, your understanding of the potential of Arlington, Texas. Our partnership with the City of Arlington, your colleagues and you is really important to us, and we look forward to an amazing future with more opportunities, more job creation, and the ability to say that Arlington, Texas is one of the great destinations in our country. Mr. Mayor, it's because of your vision, your ability to understand how to create jobs, that we are so pleased to be your partner. And once again, we only wish you well.
Mayor Williams, wow, it's hard to believe that your time as mayor is coming to an end. I've really enjoyed working with you in our weekly talks about what's going on in the county and in Arlington and really in our country. It's been an honor to work with you and to serve with you, and I look forward to doing so in the future as well.
Thank you so much for all you do. Really, the folks in Arlington were so lucky to have you as a partner. Lowe's Hotels & Co. is so lucky to have you, and you know, watching your vision come to a reality and allowing us to be part of it with is really something special to me in my career. And I know the folks at Lowe's Hotels love everything we've all done together.
Most people want a great city to live in, but few put in the time and energy required to truly make it a great city. Well, Mayor, you've put in that time. You have kept your family first, your faith first, and the city first in everything that you've done. I know that no matter what the next chapter of your life brings forth, that you will lead with humility, service, and gratitude.
Mayor Williams, thank you so very much for helping us put Live by Lowe's on the map.
Okay, you're a beacon of hope and progress for Arlington. For all our team members, we love you and you're always welcome.
Hey Jeff, Betsy Price here. Congratulations on your retirement. You and I are both going out at the same time. It's been such a pleasure working with you. You bring such a great business sense and such a sense of calm and quiet demeanor. I've just truly enjoyed it, and the citizens of Arlington have been fortunate to have you serve. I'll see you on the road soon.
Mayor Williams, we're going to miss you. What an awesome job. So grateful to have been able to collaborate on so many really significant economic development projects with you. Thank you for your courage, for taking those tough questions and hard shots and criticism, and for standing up for those things that you feel are right in our city. We are grateful. Take care, brother. We're going to miss you.
I'm proud of the successes and memories we shared in tourism and tourism development, and just know because of you, our future is very bright. Thank you for everything, and most importantly, thanks for being an incredible friend. You take care.
A very big congratulations to the City of Arlington and to Mayor Williams on an incredible tenure. We're so impressed with the progress that the city has been able to make and the impact of Mayor Williams' administration on resident lives in Arlington.
Mayor Williams, on behalf of everyone here at the Texas Rangers and the citizens of the American Dream City, Arlington, Texas, thank you. Thank you for all of your hard work and tireless efforts to make Arlington a great place to live, work, and have some fun. I look forward to seeing you sitting right next to me here at the best PA booth in baseball, watching some Rangers baseball. But most of all, thanks for being a great friend. It is baseball time in Arlington. And Mayor Williams, let's go Rangers.
I do know one thing about you is that whatever you set your hands to the task, you will leave that better than you found it. And that is the way you've left Arlington. We are better today because of you. So thank you so much, Jeff Williams.
From the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. Thank you for being exactly who you are. Thank you for caring about this amazing city. Thank you for leading in a way that brings everyone together. No matter their background, no matter who they are, Arlington is their home, and you make them feel like it's their home. Keep reaching for the moon, Mayor Williams, because you absolutely are among the stars. Thank you.
And you know, Mayor, I think there were so many other people who would have loved to have been a part of that video, because you've got a lot of people out there that want to thank you for your service, and myself included. We really do appreciate all that you've done for the city.
Well, thank you, Jay. That was awesome. And I have a lot of thank yous, and I could never thank everyone enough. And thank you, Jay. I appreciate what you and the communications department have done in so many times in informing our people. And in fact, our city staff is just extraordinary. And they are led by Mr. Trey Yelverton, who never wants recognition, but yet his leadership is phenomenal. And we see that time and time again. And then I've got to say thank you too to the many city councils that I've served with, and then also seen in past councils that we are building on those blocks. And the foundation is strong here in Arlington, and so proud of that. But I've also got to say thank you to our citizens. So many of them have worked so hard to make Arlington a place that our kids, our grandkids, and great-grandkids and future generations will want to live here in Arlington. And that's been a real theme that my wife first introduced. And I've got to say thank you to my true partner in serving here as mayor, and that's my wife, Karen. She has been out there on the front lines so many times there and helping people, and been a tremendous ambassador here for our city, both inside the city limits and around the country. And very proud of her. And then my family, they have been here. I had none of my family living here in Arlington, and now have 2 of my 3 kids here, and now we have 7 grandchildren there. We have multiplied here in Arlington, so we're continuing to have more Arlington citizens there as we move forward. And then in conclusion, we've got to once again thank Michael Jacobson and the Greater Arlington Chamber for all that they do, and of course for today. And the future does look bright, Jay.
So Mayor, any closing comments?
Well, Jay, you know, the stature of our community has risen to be one of the top cities in America. And all eyes are on us there, and I'm so proud of all the many citizens who have worked together to put us at one of the top cities in technology and innovation, in transportation, in job creation, tourism. I could go on, the various things happen. And now it's time for us to seize the momentum that we have to continue to rise, and for us to recognize that we are different from the rest of the United States because we have unity. And let us continue to work together to continue to rebuild our community, add new aspects of it, welcome new citizens, welcome tourists from all over the world as we show them the hospitality and kindness of Arlington, and we continue that can-do spirit that we always have had. And let us recognize that we love each and every one of our citizens, and we're going to work together to continue to make Arlington an even better place as we work together. And yes, we want to make sure that there are many, many, many great days in Arlington. Thank you to each and every one of you. May God continue to work and bless our community.